Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. On Friday, just 15 minutes after Zelina Vega tweeted about supporting unionization, WWE announced they had come to terms on her release. The sudden news of WWE firing Vega, a reported company favorite of Vince McMahon backstage, came from out of nowhere. But like how some RKOs are overly foreshadowed by Randy Orton saying at the start of Raw, he's definitely leaving the building right now, he's gone for the rest of the night. There's no way Randy Orton is turning up in the main event to RKO Drew McIntyre in a six-man tag. Zelina's release had been coming for over a month. Very controversially, back in September, WWE told its contracted wrestlers and on-screen talent that they were no longer allowed to engage with third-party platforms like Cameo and Twitch, because Vince McMahon wanted to create his own working relationships with those companies, and any future content like that would now go through WWE. This understandably massively upset the locker room, as Cameo and Twitch provided creative outlets for talent during lockdown and reportedly in some cases a considerable amount of extra income. So much extra income in fact that Dave Meltzer has revealed the recently released Vega was making more money with their social media than they are making with WWE, along with a couple of other female stars. WWE threatened talent with an ultimatum: shut down your Cameo and Twitch accounts, tout is acceptable, by the end of October, or you'll be fined, suspended, or even potentially fired. This saw stars like AJ Styles and Cesaro close their Twitch channels, promising fans they will be back, but others bravely persevered, with Paige emotionally accusing WWE of taking everything from her even after she broke her neck for this company, and Vega going one further and opening an extra third-party account, starting an OnlyFans to sell her cosplay photos. According to Dave Meltzer and PW Insider, it was Vega's extra defiance that reportedly led to WWE firing her, with her being extremely vocal about keeping her Twitch account. Some in the company speculated that Vega's release was a way to send a message to the rest of the roster. Vega tweeted the following day, "I want to say thank you all very much for the last 3 to 4 years, WWE Universe. It was incredible. I would never have been able to say this is for you, Dad, if certain people did not believe in me. I love you all, and I couldn't have done it without your support," with a photo of her family's names stitched into her gear. But it was fittingly on her Twitch stream that saw her overwhelmed with support. Her subscriber count increased by 2,700 in the 24 hours since her release, which doesn't just increase her channel's earnings, it also gives all the feels, as you can see in this clip.
That's the last thing I wanted to do was cry right off the bat. I think it's more so that how much you guys are supporting me right now. I appreciate it. Adam, thank you. Oh god, King Combat, thank you. All you guys, thank you so much. Oh my god, it's going so fast. BW, thank you so much. Mythical Bug, thank you guys. There's some of you guys I haven't even seen here before, so thank you. Lady Vengeance, thank you. Maggie, thank you. The support you guys are giving me is crazy. I appreciate it more than you know. Oh man, it's nice to be back. But yeah, 2,738 people was insane.
Interestingly, Zelina's Twitch channel is called A to Z on YouTube, which isn't just confusing because it's on Twitch, but also because the A refers to the other person who used to stream on that channel, her real-life husband and still contracted to WWE, Aleister Black. The very reliable WrestleVotes reported at the weekend that frustration from both sides is an understatement, and while it can't be directly tied to today's news, Aleister Black recently requested to move back to NXT and was denied. Dissension amongst the parties involved. Dave Meltzer has added to this on Wrestling Observer Radio, explaining there are 2 tiers of main roster contracts in WWE right now. The people who were signed or agreed new contracts after AEW was formed, which they used as leverage to get significantly more money, and those who are on contracts signed before AEW was created in early 2019, who really aren't making much on their downside guarantee during the pandemic. pandemic, without the extra payments brought in by live events and merchandise sales. Those wrestlers use platforms like Twitch and Cameo to make up that shortfall, and Meltzer says there is resentment from members of the roster as WWE is taking this away from them. To play devil's advocate, I'm Al Pacino as a demon! To less literally play devil's advocate, names like Zelina Vega, Paige, Big E, and Cesaro are all intellectual property creations of WWE, which WWE promote on a weekly basis. It is then totally fair for WWE to want a slice of anything the wrestlers they present on their roster do, if those wrestlers were employees rather than independent contractors. Just in case you aren't aware, WWE's classification of their wrestlers and talent as independent contractors rather than employees is arguably the most contentious subject in the entire wrestling business, as WWE exerts so much control over their freelance talent. For example, watch the start of this video again. They really should be considered employees with all the expensive benefits like holiday and medical care that come with it. But while nothing has happened in the past, WWE's latest controversy might be the lightning rod that finally forces change, as it comes, barring a dusty finish, at the same time as a rather dramatic political regime switch in the US. The politician Andrew Yang has previously said in an interview with Wrestling Inc. that a Joe Biden presidency could put him in a position to help these performers get what's been owed to them for years. And then, in a fan tweet welcoming Vega to the good fight following her release, Yang replied, "I haven't forgotten about Vince McMahon." Additionally, the Screen Actors Guild of Television and Radio Artists, the biggest union in Hollywood, which represents over 160,000 people in the US, has quote retweeted Vega's "I support unionization" post with "So do we." And its president, Gabriel Carteres, has directly reached out to Zelina, tweeting, "Thanks for standing strong for labor solidarity. I support you. Please email me." Vega currently has the standard 90-day non-compete clause following her WWE release, meaning she wouldn't be able to appear for any other wrestling promotion until mid-February, so AEW Revolution. Do you think anyone else will quit or be released by WWE? Paige has also publicly defied WWE's ban, and Aleister Black cannot be happy right now. Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. Thanks for your support on Patreon. We'll always mark out for Ollie Landrum and the roller coaster, Robert Acosta. Almost overshadowed by Vega's dramatic firing, Friday night also saw a long-awaited main roster call-up, horrid injury, and then match finish change, all in one 5-minute bit of SmackDown. As of last Thursday night, Liv Morgan was meant to win the 4-way match to get a spot on Team SmackDown for Survivor Series, but the entire script was reportedly scrapped earlier that day and changed to Chelsea Green winning the place on her full main roster debut. Green's sudden inclusion is interesting timing. She was reportedly called up to the main roster all the way back in May, but WWE never did anything with her. Green even retweeted a post from October last week saying, "I haven't wrestled since May 27th. Angry face emoji, but quickly deleted it. That same day, WWE officials decided to debut her on SmackDown, but incredibly unfortunately, Green broke her wrist in the match, so backstage producers called an audible, reverting to plans for original winner Liv. It's especially worrying as she suffered a very similar break in March 2019 on her first set of NXT TV tapings. And as we've seen with Tegan Nox, multiple breaks to the same body part can increase the likelihood of it happening again in the future. Green has given an update on her Instagram with a picture of her in hospital, to later be joined by real-life fiancé Matt Cardona, who's WWE's former Zack Ryder. But Cardona wasn't the only AEW-affiliated talent wishing Green well, as she also revealed Britt Baker sent her the best care package ever, which included organic white cheddar-baked corn puffs, some protein bars, Christmas baubles, and a cat. But Baker wasn't just making Green feel better, she was also building a women's feud in AEW on Twitter, because there's no way AEW is putting a women's storyline on TV. After Thunder Rosa put the women's division on notice, Baker replied, "Stop faking your own internet buzz and go back to wrestling exclusively on the internet. You aren't half the star you think you are, and you don't have half the face for TV. To which Rosa responded, interesting thing is, I did more than others, you, with 1 minute promo in your company than you have done the whole year. Keep trolling, Cabrona, because I have potazos for you too. If you're thinking, but what about first ever AEW Women's Champion Riho? Dave Meltzer's got you covered. Riho is under contract and has been with AEW this entire period. The pandemic has not allowed her to return. And Meltzer has also given an update on the similarly missing Dark Order leader Brodie Lee, who hasn't been seen on TV since his brutal dog collar match defeat to Cody Rhodes last month. Lee apparently has an ankle injury and is taking time off to recover. But one person who isn't taking time off is AEW champion Jon Moxley. Because Moxley is also New Japan's United States champion, there was speculation over whether he would return to Japan for their biggest show of the year, Wrestle Kingdom 15, on January 4th and 5th. But Meltzer has revealed, as of right now, Moxley hasn't asked Tony Khan for time off from AEW to work that show. Working New Japan shows isn't as simple as flying in and out for one match like Moxley had done before the pandemic, as he would need to miss at least one episode of Dynamite to satisfy their quarantine rules. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a subscribe for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Twitter at WrestleTalk_TV. And also, buy my t-shirt from WrestleShop.com. It's such good jam. The history and significance of wrestling blading is explained by Laurie Blake in his amazing new series on Parts Unknown. Click the video on the right to improve your wrestling brain. And what are the 20 worst Survivor Series matches of all time? Click the video below that for Adam Blompier's latest list. And set those reminders for our Survivor Jams live reactions this Sunday. I've been Mr. Davis. The All Authority will defeat Team Luke. Jam that jam.